If you have somebody in your family who has gotten a diagnosis of ALS or glioblastoma or pancreatic cancer or Alzheimer's, your hair is on fire.
People are dying from cancer by the hundreds of thousands per year.
I got a disease with a median survival of 14 months. What's the average time it takes to get a clinical trial from inception through to conclusion? Way longer than my average median lifespan. So that's fundamentally wrong.
The problem is that a lot of the decisions are being made by people that haven't seen patients in quite some time, and the people that are researching, at times, great questions, but maybe aren't the appropriate questions that are going to impact the patient that's sitting right in front of me.
We've got to find a way to speed up the whole process, and we've got to find a way to factor in the subjective measures that come from the patient experience.
And if we're willing to do that, give the patient what they want, we'll completely change the discussion. A diabetic does not want a better way to measure their blood glucose. A diabetic wants to eat a donut. If we sat down and said to ourselves, how can we get it so that the diabetic can eat a donut without thinking about it? Now we're on to something. When I was in Afghanistan in '03, there wasn't a day went by that I didn't take care of some Afghan child that was brought to our combat support hospital missing a limb. And you realize that the prosthetic that they're going to be given is very rudimentary. A hook, perhaps. And then later on in '05, when I went and I served in Iraq, I was seeing American soldiers, the same thing. And when they came back, best of Western medicine still gave them a hook. To me, that just wasn't adequate. You step back and you look at this and say, let's change the discussion.
He comes in, he sits in my conference room. Now look, at the end of the Civil War, we gave people a wooden stick with a hook on it after they gave their arms for the Army. He said, now, when one of our young soldiers comes back missing an arm, we don't give him a wooden stick with a hook on it. We give him a plastic stick with a hook on it.
Let's ask instead what that young soldier wants. I want an arm just like Luke Skywalker's got. You know, I want a robot arm. Feels like an arm, looks like an arm. No different. I can go to the mall, nobody even knows I've lost my arm.
He's pounding the table. That's gotta stop. We've got to give him way more than this hook. They want to pick up their kids.
We have his robot arm in 2 years, and can we be attaching it to a human in 4 years? His arm now, as you know, is FDA approved. The DECA arm is approved. Other patients are getting these things put in so they can have a work arm. All great. But guess what? Something else happened. We learned that the brain can directly control a robot arm, did we not? Take off the word arm. We now learn the brain can control a robot. It opens a tremendous space, doesn't it? Again, a foundational technology that opens a world of opportunity. That's the point.
Having a diagnosis like this makes you think, you know, what's really important? And what's really important to me is the fact that I really love life. But the other thing that fuels me is I can see that we have a system that could do a lot better. Not just for me, but for anybody with cancer. And what I think is super smart about HARPA is that it absolutely reeks innovation and calls for a sense of urgency around keeping people like me alive.